Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today from Grand Seiko, we have a model launched in 2024. This is the Kirazuri-inspired SBGA507. So this watch is a follow-up to the 2018 Kirazuri triplets that introduced the Japanese shiny painting-inspired dial. Here we have that along with the 1967 to present iconic 44 GS case factor and 40 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. This is a durable everyday watch. 40 in diameter, it's 12.9 millimeters thick. You can see from lug tip to lug tip. It is 46.2, but if we add the end links to the bracelet, the total distance across the wrist, 49.9, with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. It's considered to be part of the Heritage collection, so we have that narrower lug spacing, but also the 44 GS Heritage case design. Taking a look on the wrist, it wears nicely. Without the bracelet, if this were on a strap, you could wear it on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. On the bracelet, I recommend it for a wrist of 14 centimeters circumference and up, and once again, my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference down the barrel, being the truest angle to me, and easily fitting under a cuff. From the conforming end link, which cleanly mates the bracelet to the case, we have a little bit of a taper down toward the clasp. Note we have polished and satin links with the edge of the flanking links rolled in a bevel, polished outer faces, removable links fixed by screws. We have an intermediate size link in there on both sides, in fact, in case you find yourself in between link sizes. Those are all of your removable links. We've got a thick gauge, single fold steel, folding clasp. You can see on this buckle, we have media blast, polish, and satination, all three finishes. We have twin trigger release. You have to press them both to open it up. This watch from Japan, featuring the Zaratsu hand finish that Grand Seiko and the Seiko Empire more generally have made famous. A eye-hand coordination craft art involving a spinning tin plate on a Zaratsu machine. The Zaratsu mirror finishing is artisanal and takes 3 years to master, and so this is a hand-finished case. Try to find a priced Swiss watch that has a hand-finished case in its entirety, and I think that comparably priced Swiss watch will not have that feature. It is a complex case, not just with this polyhedron-like lug, where you have many different facets in polish and satin, but if you look at how the lugs arc up at the edges of the case, sort of cradling the bezel as though it were a diamond set in a ring. It's an unusual and compelling look. The crown is a screw down. The watch is 100 meters water resistant. You can see that on the case back. This 2024 limited edition of 300 pieces, individually numbered, so they're not doing the IWC thing where you just say one of. Nope, each one has its own individual number. You could see that the bezel is a little bit complex as it has two different facets. Then we get to the dial, and I believe the Grand Seiko dials are co-equally with Rolex the best in the mainstream luxury class. Rolex gets to its perfection by means of automation. Grand Seiko gets there by lavish hand craftsmanship. Now, the Kirazuri element is the texture underneath. Kirazuri, or shiny painting in Japanese, is often used artisanally in creating not just images of landscapes or subject matter you might see throughout Japan, indoors, outdoors, but also for creating the sets of Japanese theater. So Kirazuri can be used over a broad range of subject matter, but it does have a particular home in Japanese theater for creating sets and accompaniments. So we have the Kirazuri base, and then we've got the dial furniture, and at Grand Seiko, the way they do this in Japan is they have a dude, or dudes and dudettes, I should say, who make these things all day long, and that is their full-time gig. The razor-like faceting on the hands and indices. Notice how, too, the tops of the hands are satinated. Their sides are polished, but then you look at the index, and the top of each index actually features a set of parallel grooves, and then the sides are mirror finished. So this is all done by hand on diamond-tipped micrometric milling tools, and then all the pieces are placed by hand and caulked by hand. The seconds hand is true fired steel, and you can see the characteristic smooth glide of spring drive. No ticks, no tocks, no stops, no starts. It is truly continuous, and the spring drive technology Has an automatic winding system with single barrel for 72 hours of power reserve. You could see the unidirectional governing wheel. That moves through a magnetic field to create an induced electrical current that wakes up the quartz timing instrument that ensures this watch is accurate to no worse than plus or minus 15 seconds per month. And there is no battery, there are no power capacitors, there are no motors in here. The drive from the mainspring to the hands is 100% mechanical. This is a 30 joule movement that is watchmaker assembled, watchmaker regulated, and when the time comes, watchmaker serviced, so that it will last a lifetime. Not your lifetime, the lifetime of the watch, which spans several human lifetimes. This is not disposable consumer electronics, and that technology is a Grand Seiko and Crador exclusive. We have a power reserve indicator for the 72-hour power reserve. We have hacking seconds, and we have a quick set date. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.